Finn is going to do Sara Bash. He is going to use Bashes.
A minute away from his PB if everything goes well. Oh my god. Is that faster?
Is that faster? Big jerk sometimes. He doesn't want to play nice. Oh my good lord.
What a save!
Oh!
He makes it. Wow.
Oh my god, nice.
I'm super excited here to be commentating this round of 32 match between Lurking Assassin and Foopyo with you in our All Skills tournament. As we can see here on our standings, the winner of this match will have to face off against our 11th seed Lusther in their next matchup in the round of 16. That'll be a best of 3 match. This, however, is a best of 1. So anything can happen, as we have seen elsewhere in the bracket.
Oh yeah, we've already had one pretty major upset, and we see some stats on our runners here. So for Lurking Assassin, he's the number 6 seed, and if you look at the first column, you actually see that he has a pretty good PB, one might say. 28 is a really fast time. Actually, he's number 7 on the leaderboard because of it. And he's doing some pretty crazy strategies, like for example, for the route, he's doing the crazy juggle route. However, he hasn't been doing too much practice lately, so you could say he's not in his prime, which means that his potential opponent could actually have a chance.
That's right. In fact, in the qualifiers, Foopyo's best time is better than Lurking's worst time. So all of you Foopyo fans out there, we're saying there's a chance. We can see here on Foopyo, he'll be doing, instead of the Crazy Juggle, the Terror Break, so he'll need an extra ability cell. And he's going to take an extra health cell in Sunken Glades that Lurking won't, so he'll have a lot more safety throughout the early and mid-game. Finally, Foopyo is playing on controller. Not many of our runners do that, but it is definitely something you can do, and that a lot of people love to do, is to play Ori and the Blind Forest on a controller, Lurking Assassin playing on a keyboard and mouse.
And the input method difference is just a major advantage, a minor advantage to keyboard and mouse. So that's about like 10 seconds or something like that. If you see any difference, really, that's probably due to just movement and not due to the input method. There we already see we're starting very soon. Lurking seems to have the wrong game opened at this very moment. I think he's just trolling. He will be showing the real game quite soon. Any minute now. There we go.
Lurking is showing us what he's been doing to practice for this All Skills tournament. He's been playing a lot of Final Fantasy X. We're not sure how well that'll translate over to Ori and the Blind Forest, but we'll find out how he does today. For now, our runners just moving to the left. They're going to go pick up their first basic skill, Sign. This will let them do some light damage to things and otherwise move about the world.
Yeah, they have their UI turned off. Normally, you would see in the bottom middle how much energy you have, how much health you have, how much XP you have. We don't see that at the moment because if you turn off your UI, you don't get dialogue, and we don't want to watch dialogue because that's slow.
Yeah, in a lot of games, you have to mash through dialogue boxes and text boxes. Thankfully, in Ori and the Blind Forest, you can just turn the UI off, and that suppresses all of those messages. You will see your runners flash their UI up for little bits of time. They're going to be checking on their health, their energy, and importantly, their experience total, especially in this first area.
Very nice Froggy fight by both of them. So they just picked up Sign, which means they can attack enemies now. The game has a habit of whenever you get a new skill, it directly wants you to put that skill to use. So for now, we just have Sign. So we're shooting all the things. And also we are trying to prepare for a trick coming up that's called a Ghost Door. What's the Ghost Door, Asian?
Yeah, Sparrow, a Ghost Door is a little bit of a time save trick that we do. Our runners are going to pick up a couple of keys in the world here. They're going to use that to open a keystone door. It's one of two types of doors in the world. The other is an energy door, but we'll come back to those later. They put those two keys in the door, drop a save, and die intentionally. And by doing that, they're able to go through the door several seconds faster than otherwise, as we see Lurking do right here on the left.
Clean door opener right now. You will see on the left a little bit of a route difference. Lurking is going all the way to the left already. If you watch the right side, you will see Foopyo actually taking a little bit of a different route. He's taking another health cell, basically, which over the course of the run, it makes the run way more safe. And it really doesn't waste too much time, maybe about like 4 seconds in the whole run. But Lurking Assassin, again, is one of the top runners, so he's pretty used to that route. And there's not really a reason for him to change his muscle memory in any way, even for a tournament.
Yeah, and as Lurking comes down here, heading toward his wall jump tree, we're going to see, does he get through? Yeah, he gets through just fine. He's setting himself up. We see as he checks his UI for a timed level up on the way back out. Sparrow, why don't you tell me what that's going to do for him?
So he's preparing a level up. He's going to be, after getting this wall jump skill that he's getting right now, he's going to be leveling up from the XP that he will get from a flower. And you actually see on the right side, the explosion already happened for Foopyo. So Lurking will be having that explosion on the way up. It doesn't really matter if you get it on the way up or on the way down, if you don't do a very specific experience route that I don't think any of these runners is doing. So Foopyo leveling up right there shouldn't matter for him. But if you watch the left side, you see Lurking levels up from this flower, and okay, he did not level up because he missed 1 XP. Now he's leveling up. He actually wanted to kill that slime with the level up explosion, but you can see he's pretty adaptive.
Yeah, good to notice that slime hadn't died, and so as soon as he was in range, killing it off with Sign. We do have about a 20-second difference here in Glades so far. A lot of that will be due to that health cell Foopyo picked up, but most time differences here in Glades don't end up mattering that much. There's a lot of race still to go, a lot of areas with a lot of potential for death, and deaths are one of the biggest ways to lose time in Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah, if you, as a runner, if you can make it so that you pretty much just don't die in a run, you can have a pretty good time already. The rest of which is just movement optimization. So on the left side, Lurking is doing the trick we call Save Anywhere. It just allows him to move behind his ability menu. If he levels up an ability cell, he saves the game. So he's going to put that to use to level up Quick Flame. And now he's reloading the game, and he actually skipped a cutscene that would normally play here because he saved after triggering the cutscene.
Yeah, that's right, Sparrow, and we'll see Foopyo doing that here coming up in just a moment as he comes into the beginning of Blackroot Burrows. He'll be taking a different ability. Lurking Assassin took Quick Flame. That's going to let him shoot 3 Sign lasers at once instead of 2. But he won't have the ability that Foopyo just took, which is Spirit Magnet. Spirit Magnet's going to make a trick coming up a lot easier for Foopyo. We'll see that Save Anywhere trick as well as that Ghost Door trick that we described earlier quite frequently throughout this run from both players.
So you saw Lurking jumping up to a 100 XP orb right there. He actually jumped over the XP, so I guess he knows his XP count. Whoopsie, a minor death for him. He actually, luckily had a safety save nearby, so has to do the orb jump again, which actually led Foopyo to catching up to him. But that orb jump is a little bit tricky, so you see on the right side Foopyo has a little bit of trouble getting up there, as did Lurking on his second attempt.
Yeah, both our runners now moving through these lasers, carefully timing the cycles so that they don't get incinerated. Oh, Lurking circling with his mouse there. He barely missed a platform cycle there, so that's going to end up costing him about 8 seconds. We'll see if Foopyo
These lasers
can
are... Yeah, these lasers are pretty scary. Ooh, okay, Foopyo also missing that cycle. So it doesn't matter in the end, both of them losing their platform cycle, so they turn out even with that. Lurking is actually pretty close to level right now. This is really good for him. We want to be at least 90 XP to level for the Froggy Walk trick, which is coming up pretty shortly. But for now, just riding some platforms. These platforms, we can't really speed them up until we get the dash skill, after which the run is going to pick up speed.
And of course, Lurking wanting to be as close as possible to that level up because he didn't take that Spirit Magnet skill that Foopyo has. So he'll need to be much more delicate with when he kills his Frankie during this upcoming Frankie Walk trick to make sure that he can get enough XP to level up.
So now it'll be interesting to see what Lurking chooses to do here. There's two methods to skip this cutscene. And there's a cutscene stack and the cutscene skip, and Lurking is doing the cutscene stack. I think that's might be a first time in the bracket stage, at least, that we see this trick being pulled off. On the right side, you will see Foopyo going for the cutscene skip. That's just a different approach to doing this. What Lurking is doing saves about 1 second, but he will have to do some blind movement because the camera will stay at the tree right now. And this can be pretty scary because there's a pit which you can fall into. And
oh my goodness, he fell into it. So when when that cutscene that he skipped auto saves at the end, it saves his position wherever he is. So he actually can't reload to get out of this. He has to ride these platforms up slowly to recover from this. This is really, really catastrophic for him. He's going to lose a lot of time, giving Foopyo a fair bit of time to extend this lead that he's got.
Yeah, so while Lurking is coming back up through the pit that we fell through, Foopyo on the right side is setting up for the Froggy Walk, which we talked about earlier. So we do that because we're coming up to the second kind of door, an energy door. And to open an energy door, you need to put energy into that door. We need 4 energy for this next door. We only have 2. Luckily, if we level up, we restore our energy. So the idea is just to put 2 energy in the door, use this Frankie to level up, and then put the remaining 2 energy into the door. And wow, what happened to Lurking?
Yeah, I was watching that. Lurking actually took not a death. He leveled up off of the slime as he was leaving, which would have thrown off his ability to do the Frankie Walk. So he had to reload his save down in the depths of Blackroot Burrows and has had some trouble climbing back up.
Okay, so he definitely wants to not level up before the Froggy because there's just no other way to do the sequence break. We need to do the sequence break because it's very fast to do so. Actually putting Foopyo even more ahead. However, Lurking is a very fast runner. He could catch up from even how much behind he is right now.
Yeah, and on the right side here, Foopyo gonna try and make this cycle on the crushers, not quite getting it. He's just gonna go ahead and take a safety save, wait the 8 seconds for these crushers to reset, and then he can start moving through them while Lurking does his Frankie.
And this is the magnetless Frankie Walk for Lurking, so the XP won't be magneted towards Ori, so he has to take a little bit of a different approach to killing that Frankie because he needs to be very close to the XP drop in order to get the level up. And it looks something like this. Very nicely executed. Actually gets all of the 19 XP from the Frankie.
But he's not out of the woods yet. He's now in the area we call the Death Gauntlet. He's got 1 HP because he doesn't take that 4th HP in Glades. And but he expertly makes his way through there. Foopyo just now getting to the double jump tree. He's got quite a lead, and he'd like to strike.
Now Lurking is coming up on the early grotto cycle, which Foopyo attempted and did not get. If Lurking gets this, he will make up 8 seconds over Foopyo, and it will just enable him to catch up a little bit more, see how he gets it. Okay, he actually runs into the energy crystal, didn't quite make it as well, so not going to make up some ground on that.
Yeah, that energy crystal is the bane of many an Ori runner. It's just perfectly positioned to eat your dash as you come off of that wall. On the right side, Foopyo going for grotto skip here. This is a very precise wall jump. He gets it first try. It saves him about 40 seconds-ish of going around to the left side of grotto.
Yeah, that was very nice. Of course, he is doing the baguette jump. He is a French runner after all, and they have to do the baguette jump, which is fittingly named after our French runners. And this water wall climbing is looking pretty good for him right now. On the left side, Lurking is doing some blind movement. We haven't seen that from Foopyo. It's a similar blind movement to the one he attempted at the dash cutscene, but it's way safer. And this was a pretty nicely executed blind movement for him, being up all the way on the right wall.
Yeah, Lurking is just going to keep trying to catch up there. Hopefully he'll be able to match Foopyo's first try grotto skip as well to not lose time there. Foopyo, for his part, climbing his way out of grotto, continuing with this nice wall jump movement. Wall jumps can be surprisingly tricky to optimize in this game. Even getting a double jump there on his dash glide. Oh, yep, Lurking got his first try grotto skip. Excellent. But having some trouble with this baguette jump.
He is not French after all. So he's skipping this next cutscene that Foopyo also skipped. You can skip cutscenes by doing the save anywhere and also by just rekindling your save after you have put it down. So that's what we do to skip some more cutscenes in this run, basically.
Yeah, on the right here, Foopyo is going to be doing something Lurking won't. He's going to go up here, grab an extra ability cell. That's going to let him do an easier version of a sequence break that they both need to do later in the run. But Lurking not having to climb up and grab that ability cell is going to give him a little bit of time to catch up on Foopyo. Once they get into the Ginso tree, we will get you an update on how far apart they exactly are.
I expect Lurking to just make a little bit of ground due to just some faster strats, basically. But of course, skipping this ability cell, like you alluded to, he will have to do a pretty difficult trick like towards the end of the run. So we will see how he does with that. For now, though, it's catching up for him. So yeah, just making his way to Ginso spot. Looks like probably about a minute behind. There's going to be a little bit of a different movement for him. Because he's not picking up the ability cell, he's going to try to make a pretty fast cycle in the crushers.
Yeah.
Okay, actually he's picking up the ability cell. Never mind.
Oh, that's interesting. That's a little bit different than what we were expecting out of Lurking.
Still going for the fast cycle, though.
Yeah, Foopyo on the right, moving through the Ginso tree. This is one of my favorite areas of movement to watch. It's just a lot of vertical movement, optimizing your wall jumps. Foopyo decides not to go for the fast cycle on that Geemer, decides to play it safe. Good for him. He's ahead. He doesn't know this because he told us before he's not watching Lurking's stream, but he's going to play his best game and just hope that he comes out ahead.
Pretty smooth movement by Foopyo so far. Lurking took another pretty heavy death in the crushers right here. He attempted the early cycle, which looked like this. Earlier, he took damage to the crushers and then took another 2 damage to another crusher, so he actually died, which put him even more behind. Now he got the fast cycle, but in the end, he lost quite a bit of time. Now, he also said he would not really be watching Foopyo, but he said he would glance over every now and then, so he probably knows that he's behind by now.
Yeah, and Foopyo here coming up to the first Ginso mini-boss. This is our major source of RNG in the run, and another place that Lurking will probably get some time caught up because of that quick flame that he took earlier. Foopyo is going to be watching for a 1-frame tell to tell him where the boss is going to spawn, but if he doesn't catch that, he just kind of has to sit in the middle and hope that he can get enough damage off. We'll see how many cycles it takes him to kill this boss.
Of course, Foopyo is doing the controller shooting, so he can't mash out the shots as fast as Lurking will be able to do. And then there's, like you said, the quick flame on top of that. So the rim bust will be pretty fast for Lurking. LurkingAssassin is also doing the telehop method. In the second Ginso room, the teleporters reset your double jump, so you can actually infinitely jump up through them. Also lower route very fast with quick flame, so just making up a little bit of ground in this Ginso movement as is expected. Taking a death to the spikes, had a safety save nearby, so probably the ground that he made up, well, he like evened it out.
Yeah, and for an update on that difference, Foopyo has a 1 minute and 28-second lead at the tree to the Ginso tree as he now comes up to grab Bash. Eric, can you tell me a little bit about Bash, what Bash does for our...
Sure, Hal. So Bash, you saw it put use just now. It's when you see this little arrow coming up, that's the Bash skill. You bash Ori in the direction of the arrow, and you bash the projectile or enemy or any entity really that is bashable in the other direction. There's also something called double bashes, but I don't expect to see it being shown from Foopyo because he is on controller, and double bashes are a lot harder to do on controller. But
Yeah,
for now,
Foopyo,
there's Kidu.
yeah, Foopyo placing a save in a precise location there. He's going to pick up 3 of these 4 keys, put them in the door, and take an intentional death to these spikes. If he does it right, the keys will be still in the world because he saved before he grabbed them, but the ones in the door will go into his inventory, so he'll be able to leave the Genso tree with 3 keys instead of 0.
And we, of course, need these keys not only to be a little bit faster, but we are not finishing the Ginzo tree like you normally would. So the water will actually stay poisonous, and we would have to do a swim in order to get more keystones. So that's why we keydupe here. It's a pretty fast door to do the keydupe on. Keydupe is technically possible on all the doors, but this one is just conveniently in our way.
Yeah, Foopyo making quick work of that second Ginso mini-boss. As Lurking comes up and doing a little bit different strats for us here to show off higher save placement. This is going to save him a second or 2 over the way that Foopyo did his key dupe. Foopyo teleporting out of the Ginso tree, as Sparrow said earlier, we're not going to finish it. Sorry, we don't get that wonderful epic Ginso escape music, and we don't get the pretty water everywhere. It's going to be poisonous for the rest of the run, and that'll have some implications for our final escape. For now, Lurking Assassin, done his key dupe, getting through that ghost door. He's going to go into that mini-boss. Foopyo, getting a cutscene here. That's fine. He'll just have to remember that he has those lasers. Coming up on another trick, Swamp Entry. Swamp Entry, he's going to take a frog, and he's going to use bashes and dashes to manipulate its position so that he can get into the swamp area where the cutscene would usually place us after finishing the Ginso tree without having finished the Ginso tree.
So nice manipulation so far. He will be using that projectile to break the frog, bash the frog to the right, wait for another projectile. Now he has to, okay, double jump stall in the air. Okay, try that again. Double jump stall it to bash this projectile, and he makes it. So that was a pretty fast controller method for the swamp entry. Over on the left side, you will be seeing Lurking do a little bit of a different setup, probably putting to use the double bashes that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, and Foopyo pulling off a great save there. That first projectile that he bashed up was actually on its way to kill his frog. So good awareness on him to get that bash to save his frog so that he could take the second shot instead. And here on the left, we see Lurking going for that double bash strat, doing a few double bashes to get himself over to the wall and to get that projectile in, and he gets it first try as well.
That was a really fast swamp entry by Lurking Assassin, so he's definitely caught up quite a bit. They are maybe like, I don't know, let's say 40 seconds apart now. And there's still a bit of run to go, so Lurking doing a good job catching up so far. However, Foopyo is also playing really well, so he will be making his way over to the Charge Flame skill, whereas Lurking is collecting the Storm skill right now. And there's also our friend again. This frog, we call it Ringo because there's these drumming sounds that he, for some reason, makes when you bash him over there. Oh, okay. Foopyo actually dropping him into the spikes, needs to use these mortar shots as a backup method. That was a very nice angle. So we bash the frog because it's a little bit faster than this mortar shot manipulation right here. And we need this ability cell. It's absolutely necessary to finish the run.
Ooh, Foopyo giving me a scare there. Dropping into that laser. We do have an update on the time differential at the Stomp tree, the most recent tree they got. They were 30 seconds apart, and Foopyo was only 3 seconds behind his personal best as he nails that Kuro cutscene skip.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. He just, you saw him stop there for a little bit. He just skipped a cutscene, and that cutscene skip is not too easy, especially if you're not, like, very experienced at the game. Lurking on the left side actually failed it once, so Foopyo making a little bit of ground again, and him being only plus 3 seconds to his PB, he might actually be on PB pace right now at the Charge Flame tree.
Yeah, and of course, that's exactly what he needs to do to have a chance against Lurking, is put together a great run and just kind of hope that Lurking makes mistakes, and that's what we've been seeing happen so far.
Also, very nice adaptation by him to stall a little bit so the Froggy would actually follow him down here, because after he gets Charge Flame, he wants to use the Froggy to bash up again. It's just a little bit faster than breaking that blue wall over to the right. Also saves up on an energy, and since he's not doing a save anywhere, I actually think he needs that energy.
Yeah, as you see there, he's going to do another save anywhere to skip that cutscene. Lurking, for his part, at the Charge Flame tree already, making up that ground very quickly, is going to be doing a longer save anywhere from the tree in order to save the time of dropping that save and having to set that up there. So Lurking closing the gap quite nicely.
And this is the valley section in which our runners are in right now. Foopyo said he was not going to attempt fast stompless. I don't know if his, if he has changed his thoughts about that, probably knowing that he's on a very good pace right now. We will see if he does it. For now, we can explain what it kind of will be looking like. So we are going to bash a spider shot at a very specific angle and then just racing to the right to get an ability cell. And that saves a little bit. Whoopsie! Actually killing the bird. Okay.
Oh, Foopyo taking a big death there.
Yeah.
He needed that ability cell and ran out of birds to stomp on. I don't know if he had a better backup available to him, but that was definitely not something he wanted to see.
This is just also tournament nerves, I think, maybe a little bit. You normally don't fail that bird stomp and then you kind of panic and don't really know what to do. So he took a very big death, putting Lurking Assassin actually in the lead, who on the left side has successfully pulled off his fast stompless. He has needed some more than the first shot because he didn't like the shots, but he went with a shot that he did like and successfully pulled off fast stompless. Now Lurking is actually in the lead due to this unfortunate hiccup by Foopyo. Now this is the bird stomp.
Lurking's not out of the woods yet, of course. He still has to do his Sorrow Bash. He's got Crazy Juggle coming up. And as well as all of Sorrow Pass and Misty Woods that is filled with spikes that are very pointy and will kill him in one shot because of that 3 health.
And he's doing a Sorrow Bash right now. He needs to manipulate the bird. This looks pretty good. Yeah, he's fine. Of course, pretty experienced with this trick. Normally, we would have to go to Misty Woods first and activate the wind, because you're not supposed to do that difficult series of inputs like in the vanilla method, but it's really fast to visit this area first. Now, this is Crazy Juggle. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, he's got a 2-frame window to cancel out these charge dashes before he hits the frog. If he hits the frog, he'll kill it and the trick will fail. Thankfully, he didn't, so he'll be able to use this frog to break this ceiling on above him and make his way up to the Sunstone.
Didn't make that trick look difficult at all, but it's actually pretty difficult. Like, imagine having to do 2-frame inputs, like, what's that, 12 times in a row or something like that, and you are not allowed to miss any of these inputs. So it's definitely a pretty difficult trick.
Yeah, and bit of an update here. Foopyo is now, unfortunately, a minute behind at picking up that feather, that glide skill. Unfortunately, that death cost him a lot of time. But he's coming up here now to his attempts at Sorrow Bash. He's going to resave at his save that he dropped up here when he stomped the rocks for Kuro. Lurking taking a little bit of a death, but the game auto-saves for you at Sunstone. Foopyo dropping a safety save, very convenient there on that tiny ledge, and is going to work his way through Sorrow Bash and gets it the first try. Very nice job, Foopyo.
Lurking actually took a death in the very same area again, so he was put back to the Sunstone. Almost okay, actually did die there again. Holy shit, this spy cave is dangerous.
Yeah, Foopyo about to be navigating that as well. Without bringing a frog up here, he's going to need the charge jump skill before he can get through that ceiling. So our runners look quite a bit closer right now than they are.
Yeah, Foopyo will be doing the Terra Break. We haven't seen Terra Break yet because Lurking did the Crazy Juggle, but Foopyo probably doesn't feel comfortable with doing the Crazy Juggle. Also, it's like literally impossible to do on controller. So he will be doing Terra Break instead, and the way in which that works is that the charge jump skill, which both of our runners just picked up, when you die, the hitbox actually stays for 1 frame after you've died. So we use the save anywhere again to save on like directly below that ceiling up above Foopyo, and then we just carry over that 1 frame hitbox from the charge dash to break the ceiling. And it looks like this.
Yeah, and he's going to hold that save anywhere to skip a long cutscene when he picks up the Sunstone. Meanwhile, Lurking working his way into Misty, showing off all of the movement tech that this game has to offer, using charge dashes, using stomps and bashes to refund the 1 energy that charge dash costs. He's going to be basically running on his last energy for the entirety of the first half of Misty Woods until he gets to the climb tree, but putting on a clinic in high-level Ori movement for us right now.
Misty Woods movement is pretty nice in the run in general. Most runners would agree that it's a very fun section to just practice, because with the charge dashes you can go really fast, and with the stomp cancels you can almost infinitely charge dash, so this is just pretty nice to do. Foopy is on his way into the Misty Woods area. Lurking is already at the climb tree, so he's pretty far ahead right now. There's not too much run left. We only need 1 more skill really, and then it's time for the final dungeon.
Yeah, Lurking working his way through here, just absolutely lovely movement. Grabbing keystones, letting the woods change. Ooh, taking a rough death there. That'll put him back about 30-40 seconds. But
yeah, one thing to note about that, Lurking is at 3 HP here, and this is why taking the health cell at the start is just so much safer, because every hit in this Misty Woods area, like every hit in the spikes, actually deals 3 damage. So you get no second chance if you go 3 HP. And that's why he took a death there.
Yeah, that's right. Foopyo, for his part, with 4 HP, if he does manage to clip those spikes, he'll have a chance to drop a save, get some health back, and continue on his way. Oh, Lurking, missing the energy crystals. He's going to go back up for them.
Whoops!
He's going to try to go back up for them. There we go.
Nice, getting the energy crystals. And now on the left side you will see him putting that energy to use with a rocket jump. We haven't talked about rocket jumps really. It's just a charge dash below an enemy, and you cancel that with a double jump, and for some reason the game just forgets to decelerate your movement speed.
Yeah, and Lurking making short work of that mini-boss there. If you looked away from the screen, you may have missed it. But there is in fact a Misty mini-boss.
Like charge dash, charge jump, stomp, all these skills that we have at our disposal right now deal so much damage that we can just obliterate that Misty mini-boss.
Yeah, Lurking now working his way back across Valley to this teleporter. He's going to go back into Blackroot Burrows now with all but 1 of the skills. This is, of course, the all skills category, so we need to pick up the last skill, Light Burst or Light Grenade. It's going to let us do a little bit of more movement tech, called a grenade jump, but to get there, we're going to have to go past some lasers.
We definitely are, and that death from Lurking was intentional for a trick called the lever glitch. He pulled the lever in the direction he wanted to. He just needs to pull the lever, and then he rekindled the save and he died, so that the door will actually open on his way down, so he doesn't need to open it on his way up again. It saves quite a lot of time actually. Now he's doing another save anywhere to skip a really long cutscene, and then he's already at grenade.
Yeah, and Foopyo putting that 4 HP to good use. He clipped the spikes coming up toward... Oh no, toward this mini-boss.
Wow.
But takes a death going for the second of those 2 worms. Unfortunate death.
Yeah, he was trying to charge dash its projectile back into the mini-boss. I'm actually pretty surprised that he took a death there. But yeah, he had a safety save nearby at the 4th keystone. Okay, don't freak out now. This looks good. Through the meatballs. Ooh, okay, another death right there.
Thankfully, his safety save is not too far back. So he's not losing a ton of time, but still not what he'd probably like to be doing right now.
It's definitely what we call a value save in that manner, but you can see him probably being a little bit nervous. After all, he told us before that he's very nervous, and then if you take unfortunate death, you tend to get quite nervous. Of course, he doesn't watch his opponent, so he does not know where his opponent is right now, but that could be even worse on his nerves. Now, here's the real mini-boss kill.
Yeah, and Foopyo dropping a safety save this time on that mini-boss. Good adaptation there. Spending an energy, but getting quite a bit of safety. On the left, Lurking Assassin showing off some grenade jumps. It's a combination of climb, charge jump, and grenade that lets him do that. He's going to pick up a 5th health cell here, and that'll be all he's going to have for the final escape. Why does he need that 5th health cell, Sparrow?
Well, as you may recall, we haven't finished the Ginzo escape, so just as a reminder, water is still very much poisonous. And in the final escape, there's a swim through water that we have to go through, and it deals at least 4 damage. It's actually a pretty tight timing to make it through there with only taking 4 damage, so we definitely need 5 HP to make it through there.
Yeah, and now on the left, Lurking Assassin going for another frame-perfect trick. This is called Door Warp. If he does it right, he'll be actually placed at the end of Mount Horu, just like that. Door Warps, a lot of them send you to really weird places. For some reason, Mount Horu sends you to the end of the dungeon, so we make use of that.
But the weird tricks aren't done yet. This trick is called Warmth Skip on the left side for Lurking Assassin. So he quit out of the game, and for some reason this confuses the state of the game. So this cutscene, he can actually move during that cutscene, and he has to do some very dangerous blind movement again. Actually takes a small death right there. He has done a little bit of a re-entry, so that's not too bad for him. And yeah, he's through right now. But that blind movement is pretty scary, definitely. And this trick saves about 10 seconds if you pull it off optimally. So again, it's another one of these tricks which you don't see too many runners attempt unless they really need that small time save.
Yeah, Lurking now down to just 1/2 of an energy, so he's only going to have 1 shot at this grenade jump at the end. If he gets it, it'll save him about 35 seconds, cutting off half of the final cutscene. If he misses it, he'll have to watch the whole thing, so that's even some more time loss that he might be concerned about. Looks like he's got it. Yeah, that looks good. No soft lock. Didn't get the bonk off the ceiling. GG, Lurking Assassin.
GG to Lurking Assassin, skipping half of the cutscene, so he will be finishing out with a time that's just below flat 34. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
on the right side, Foopyo is making his way to the final dungeon. His nerves have probably calmed down a little bit now. He does not technically need to pick up the health cell which Lurking picked up, but by the time he gets there, he will know that Lurking has finished. And I think he will probably pick that up. We will see. Okay, he doesn't even need it.
Looks like he's gonna go for this 5 HP swim. He did tell us before the race that he was planning on going for 6, but maybe seeing that Lurking hadn't finished yet, or feeling like he's on a good pace, he just wants to go for it.
Definitely a pretty risky decision, one might say, but we'll see. He's probably comfortable with doing it. I mean, Foopyo is not new to this game. First, though, he has to do this door warp. Lurking did it with a first try. We will see how many tries Foopyo will take. Not first try. And second try. Okay, not second try.
There we go. Got it.
There we
Third
go.
first try.
It's just so worth to attempt the trick, even if you get it on your 20th try, because it saves having to do all of Mount Horu.
That's very correct. Mount Horu can take quite a while to do if you have to go through all 8 rooms, but we can just teleport down to the bottom with a wrong warp, so that's faster, so we like to do it.
And
So
now this is
Foopyo,
what the escape looks like without blind movement. Yeah, you didn't get to see this area before. Now Foopyo's through that area. This area we have already seen Lurking do earlier. Foopyo, however, has a lot more energy at his disposal, so he's probably has more tries for the final grenade jump. Now he's coming up on his swim right here. He was fast enough, so the fish should be in a good position. Okay, only took 2 damage, and he's through. Easy swim for him as well. What are we even talking about? That swim is not hard at all. And setting up for the grenade jump.
yeah, he's going to take a precise position on the wall, get a good angle. Looks like he got the inputs just slightly wrong that first time. He's going to line it up again, and he gets it. GG Foopyo.
GG, definitely pretty good run for himself. Like Foopy didn't expect to win this race. He was on PB pace until like the valley area where unfortunate things happened. So it definitely was a pretty good run for himself, and he managed to come back from it quite well.
Yeah, so now Foopyo is just going to be holding right, waiting for Naru to run. Naru, of course, we haven't seen her in this run, this speed run. She is a bit of a character in the prologue of the game, but here she is. The last thing we do is run her over to the right, and that's time for Foopyo. 36:30, very respectable time for him. GG to both runners.
Yeah, GG. Like getting a sub 40 in this game is already pretty damn good. Like you already know what you're doing if you can get times like that, and putting that out consistently within a tournament setting, especially if you're very nervous, that's a very respectable time.
Yes, it is, and looks like we will have both of our runners joining us for an interview here. GG to both of you, Foopyo and Lurking. Lurking, I'm going to go to you first. Taking me back to that Blackroot Burrows and that blind movement off the cutscene stack. What was going through your mind when you loaded back?
You see, like, what happened is, like, I actually am not sure how I fell. I could usually tell if I fell or not. So as soon as I saw the camera pan downwards, I was like, oh no, I don't know what happened. And generally when I do runs, if that happens, I just hit the reset button. So I actually had no clue if I should go around, wait for the cycles. And it was just a mess.
Yeah, Foopyo, over to you. I don't know if you had your splits up, but at least up until Stomp, our friendly neighborhood truckers were telling us that you were pretty close to PB pace. How were you feeling about the run there through the first?
I was feeling pretty confident until Bird Boss, actually. I didn't do any major mistake until then, so...
Yeah, you definitely were on a pretty good pace up until Storm. You were actually ahead up until Storm also.
Oh, did I? In my PB, I remember having 10 seconds of time loss in double jump. But yeah, my early game is pretty good in my PB.
It definitely looked pretty good here. And another thing about your run, I guess, is you successfully pulled off the Kuro cutscene skip, which is not an easy skip by any means. Are you actually pretty consistent at that? Or did you amaze yourself by doing that?
No, I am consistent at that. I trained it a lot before the qualifier.
Well, definitely pretty good run by you. Another question to Lurking, I guess, coming up on the trash talk, maybe. Like, I have seen your trash talk, our friendly Baguettes, a little bit in further races. You've made it your personal quest, so to speak, to eliminate the remainders.
So what actually happened is I didn't trash talk until Foopy started trash talking.
Okay. Haven't
I can't have this. But no, against Luster, this will be a hard match, and if I play like I did today, I'm not gonna have a good time. So yeah, Luster is gonna be a hard fight, and we'll see how it goes.
Do you think you're going to practice a little bit more, or is it just going to be more Final Fantasy X?
Probably more Final Fantasy X, but you never know. I might practice a little bit.
Nice.
I'm just like, I haven't had the motivation to play Ori that much recently, so I've just been kind of like just playing the tournament matches, and that's about it. Maybe like a few hours before I start warming up, but that's kind of one of the reasons I haven't been playing too well, especially this run, because I don't know, I'm just not really that into the game right now.
I mean, that's understandable. You already have your 28. You have a very good time on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
All right, well, coming up next for us in Ori Land, we've got Shed versus Jella at 5 p.m. Eastern. That's in about an hour and 45 minutes on this same channel, Speed Gaming. Luster, Foopyo, GG. Thank you for co-commentating with me, Sparrow, as well as Griffs for restreaming, and our two people in the truck, Skullblocka and Skyfox.
You said Luster.
I did say Luster. Sorry, Barrick, thank you for co-commentating with me.
It was a pleasure. It was definitely a nice race to commentate. But the next race coming up for Ori is going to be a pretty nice race to watch as well. So I definitely recommend you watch that at 5 p.m. EST on this very channel.